Okay guys, so part 2 of the HPI drifter project. So I've got all the crud blown out of this that my compressor could possibly push out at 120 psi, and so that's all clean, and looks like our JB weld turned out really good. It's nice and strong, not going to hurt that too easily, so that's nice and solid. And I just finished welding the motor mount back together because it was split. So I aluminum welded that with some aluminum stick rod that I actually got from Canadian Tire that's designed to be used with a propane torch. And right now, of course, the mount's not going to fit my motor, so I got to clean up the inside. So that's the next part we're going to do with the Dremel, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, I decided I was going to show you how I was going to clean this motor mount up. So right now it's not going to go on there, so we just got a little bit of inside stuff to clean up on. I'm using a small stone so I can get in there easy enough. Looks like we got a little bit of warping that happened during the welding, so I'm going to have to clean that up. Perfect. Okay, so motor mount's cleaned up. Back on there. Wasn't out of the way too much, so that's good. So it's all sitting flat the way it should. So I'm going to probably end up using this motor, just because it's the only one I got that's going to seem to fit in there. because my Titan 12 turn is way too big. So we're going to use the low-C motor. This is actually the original low-C motor out of my SCT, and so we're going to use it. And if we ever want to upgrade to a brushless, well, we can. That's not a big deal. But now the motor mount has been repaired because it was broken on the one side. So the welding stick I used, like I said, is just something from Canadian Tire that can be used with a propane torch. I've used it lots of times for different repairs, and the stuff actually works really well. And it's a good strong bond, so not too worried about that. And the thing with trying to weld aluminum though is, you know, you gotta heat this stuff up just before, you know, the melting point and get that weld in there, but you also got to make sure that your area that you're welding back together is like super clean, or it's not even going to stick. So that's done, and this is all cleaned up, and that's good and strong. So we've got a complete shell again. Our bottom end turned out really good too. Believe it or not, all I did for now was just use Sharpie black permanent marker to color over top the JB weld, because the stuff, I mean, even paint, it's going to come off, right? But this stuff's got a little bit better chance, and besides, you can do quick cosmetic repairs just doing this, and you know, if you're that concerned about cosmetics. But I wanted to, it keeps a bit of an aged look to it too with the black marker, so that works out really well. So next is we're going to install our receiver. Gonna see about mounting our motor up into the motor mount, just as a temporary. I probably won't show that to you guys on camera, just because it's got to come right back out anyhow, because I've got to find a gear that'll match up into here. But when the whole project's done, you're gonna see it obviously. So there's the other part of my motor mount here. I've got to put all this back together and figure out which way this is going to actually be oriented onto the chassis here, and for its fit. And we'll get that done. I'll hook the servo up, check the lights, make sure they're all working. So I'm going to just use a speed controller that's kicking around that I can plug everything into, and make sure that, you know, when you turn the wheels and all that stuff, the lights work the way they should. Then at least I can verify if I have to do any LEDs. So it's going to be a while before I'm going to get the pinion gear, because I got to find one for this thing that'll fit. I thought I had one, but the Traxxas ones don't, that I have, don't seem to want to mesh with the gear properly, so go figure, stuff happens. But this project is going along rather well, and I'm pretty happy so far with the results I'm getting. So anyways, we'll keep this video as the whole rest of this project. So, you know, it'll be another part and another part, and then I'll just add them all up in the end, and, you know, you can see the finished results. So, we'll be back. Guys, how's it going again? Well, I didn't install the servo yet. Actually, I'm working on figuring out my hookup wiring on the car body, and I've got it sorted out, and I don't know how well you can see that. But the headlights are on dim right now, and right now I'm just using my Lighthawk controller, speed controller, and receiver, just because I don't feel like putting a whack load of batteries in the controller for this. But anyway, I got the wiring sorted out, so when you turn, your turn signals go on. So we got the servo working properly for that, and then when you're driving, as soon as you start giving it more gas, the high beams go on. And the tail lights do work, but I don't have reverse on this speed controller. So I just figured, you know, I'd try it out and, you know, see how the lighting actually is working on it, make sure there's no bad bulbs, and it looks like so far everything's okay. Figuring out the way the connectors and that work was actually the interesting part, because what you would think would go on one side actually goes across into the other, and it's kind of weird. But now that I got this sorted out and I know which goes where on what channel, it'll be the same on the original HPI box. So I'm going to start mounting the other stuff into the car. And then I'm going to mark my wires, which one actually goes to which channel and where. So I'll just actually tie the two that should go together into which channel. I'll mark that down on a piece of paper so I know for later where everything actually goes. Because it took me about 20 minutes to figure it out. I thought maybe I had a backwards wire or some stupid thing. And you know, it's just that it turned out to be opposing wires. Because you'd think that, you know, because these are together on this hub, they should go to this channel, and no, it doesn't. It's completely twisted opposite. It's weird. But anyways, so that's our next little bit, and we got our lights working, so that's awesome. So now it's just a matter of getting everything else slow together, and I still got to find a pinion gear for the motor, and then I'll mount the motor up. And I tried it out in there just to see, and everything's working free. I'll be able to adjust the mesh without any hassles and all that, so that's all good. So I took it all apart. And I'm going to repaint my motor mount. You know, it was anodized, but I'm going to repaint it just to make it look a little bit better. But, so we're slowly making progress. So we'll just continue on as we go until we're completely done this project. Okay guys, so we now have our servo mounted in the car. And I got to mount the receiver next. Still got to straighten out my wiring. We do have steering. It's awesome. Left turn, right turn type of thing. Actually left and right. The steering is actually reversed on this one, so I'm going to have to flip that around, but, or is it? No, that's right and that's left. Yeah, okay. Never mind, just orientation. So anyway, we do have a servo saver kit installed. That's not the original servo that came with the car. I actually forgot I used it in my other project. But that servo was actually a pretty heavy duty servo. It's actually out of the Lighthawk Challenger boat. So I just slapped it in and it's going to do really well. I wanted to use a Metal Gear servo, but I didn't have a screw that would work with the one that I have. So I just, you know, threw in basically a stock servo type of deal, you know, with the plastic gears in it. Anyway, so that's all set to go. So that's awesome. We still got our motor, of course. You know, I almost wonder if it'd be worth putting in a brushless system in this thing. I do have a brushless motor that will fit in this thing, as well as the ESC, so I might, you know, I'm thinking, you know, brushless kind of rules. We'll see. We'll leave that for a kind of a surprise deal, I guess. We'll see if we put in a brushless system or not. Cause I'm now debating, because just listening to, you know, the brushless motor, hey, it's nice. You know. So, but anyway, we'll see. But so far so good. We're still continuing on. Everything's going well with our project, so we don't have much else really holding us back. To get this thing at least on the road and running, and then at a later time I can take care of, you know, painting the body or whatever I'm going to do to it, sort of thing. But anyway, we'll continue on, and I'm going to actually stop the video at this point, and we'll do another video of the rest of the progress. You know, just because I don't want to have like a 2-hour video here, you know, and I want to keep you guys, you know, entertained while we're going too, so, you know, with how the build's going. But so we're going to stop it here. So when I get more progress done, we'll cut another video. So until then, catch you on the next one.